Hello, I am the Moon Guy, and I'm going to talk about The Legend of Zelda, Majora's Mask, difference between the old one and the current one, which is the remake, Majora's Mask 3D. Although for me, the current one will always be the old one because I'm nostalgic that way. So, here's where we're going to begin. First, we'll begin with South Clocktown. Okay, so let's begin with South Clocktown. Now, well, actually, not South Clocktown, but Clocktown in general. Clocktown in general is fucking beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I don't mind anything about Clocktown. Everything that they did almost about Clocktown is perfect. New posters, new art on the wall, the advertisements, things you would run into. It just adds more wonder to the world, and I find this virtually appealing, and I cannot really complain. I actually really like the changes in Majora's Mask 3D to certain things, but not all. The change, for example, behind South Clocktown's clock tower, where the banker is now, that change I kind of realized. My brother says I hate it. I like the old nostalgic bank where it was to the west, but I told my brother, yeah, but if you think about it, you would go steal fishes from the nearby trading post during the night around 10 p.m. Why 10 p.m.? Because the curiosity shop was open next door. Then you go to the curiosity shop next door, sell each fish until you would fill up your wallet full of 99 rupees, 200 rupees, or 500 rupees, depending on the adult's wallet, giant's wallet, and Link's wallet, or ordinary wallet you had at the time. And you could just easily go outside of the curiosity shop or the trading post, and simply deposit those rupees right in front of the door, like before you would continue your selling your fishes. So I at the same time I don't like it because it's not nostalgic that the bankers now all of a sudden moved to the middle of nowhere, but I do like the expanded platform he's at, and I do like the fact that you can no longer abuse and easily deposit your money, making your time constraint ever so more you feel like ever more restricted. So can I complain about the banker? No. Should I complain about the bankers movement? No. And I give this change an approval 5 out of 5 just because I love it so goddamn much. And now we're going on with the next one. When you enter Clocktown for after like the first time, your fairy says that she doesn't know the exact location of the Great Fairy on the first cycle. Yes, she does. And in the original, Skull Kid was the main reason the fairy dispersed into many fucking places. Dispersed and split apart in millions of pieces. And since she was the accomplice of Skull Kid and most of the time, I think something, and a fairy especially like Todd, would know where the fuck the Great Fairy is in Clocktown. I hate this change. And I hate that the fact she says that she does not visit Clocktown often. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you would, baby. I mean, it's right next to Termina Field. I mean, I'm sure you'd fly over the wall, be like, ooh, I mean, I'm curious what they do here, every single day. And to ask the bombers for information. I think that's just the cheap way that they want you to address the bombers. Speaking of the bombers, I hate their fucking notebook. I hate their new notebook changes. They no longer challenge the Link a second time. I also hate that. The bomber's notebook is instead given by the bombers is instead given by the Happy Mask salesman, who's not even associated with them at any fucking way possible, so which annoys me even more. They tell Link about rumors to the notebook, like hide and seek games. Forbidding the use of Deku nuts is one of the things Jim also says. I think the leader of the bombers, the saying that the flash hurts their eyes. I do agree that it's a cheap way of playing, but why would you add that as the feature in the first game anyway? Then, like why would you allow us to blind them in the first game and then all of a sudden in the second one forbid us the same option? I mean, are you implying that the people of 3D know the old Majora's Mask? Oh, what the hell am I saying? Of course they are. But the point being is, it takes away that not this nostalgia, but it takes away that like if you know something about this world, that now you can't do the same thing again. That you can prove that you're more of a veteran than the old people that have played the original Majora's Mask. What I hate about it also is how it notes everything down for you in the book. Like, it's like it officially has become your fucking notebook. Not just the bomber's notebook, but your official fucking notepad where you write things down of your misery that the hell you have to go through. For example, why would Link write a note on the final day inside of the big fucking moon about the child he's playing and giving masks to? Why would he write about that specific moment of playing with the child on the moon when he knows that it's more important to save the world and let the moon fall on the earth and let it explode? So I really don't get that, guys. I can't live with that, and I hate those changes with the bombers, and I can't stand them. Every time I think about them, I tried to accept them when I was playing Majora's Mask 3D, but I just fucking can't. I will probably get a hate for this, but I don't care if I get a hate for this. Boss remains are no longer required to activate the boss portals. I fucking hate this. The bosses must have simply been fought once, beaten or not. Now, no. When you got the mask in the original, when you knew that you unlocked the final boss, that you don't have to repeat all those stupid steps just to reach the boss, you carry that mask not only as a trophy, you carry that mask as a show of your skills. I wish I could mount those masks on the wall so people could see how great it is. And at the final fight with Majora, when those boss masks are mounted on the wall, that's it. It's exactly what he's doing. He's mounting his accomplishments, the people he defeated that he had us defeat. It's like he's taunting us with our own accomplishments and saying, bitch, I will kick your ass. I am far more easier than these motherfucking bosses you've defeated, and these trophies mean nothing. I don't care, you know? And why would you do that? I welcome the changes to Odolva. That can be stunned with Deku nuts while flying from a Deku flower. You can also be stunned with an arrow, a sword attacks, yada yada yada. But what I don't really fucking understand is you can't really damage it as you used to in another different way. But it's also every boss, just like Goth, just like Georg and the Twin Mold. Why do they all have that fucking eye sticking out to reveal their weakness, their weak spot, their weakness? If you're assuming we're previous Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask fans and we know all the weaknesses and stuff, and why are you putting a fucking red light and telling the other noobs, hey, this is how you can easily kill this boss, just do this? No, I liked my fairy giving me clues of how the fuck I kick these bosses asses. Now to the point that this fucking red beam above their heads simply tells me what I have to do is not so much fun anymore as it used to be. I like kicking their ass. Also, the Giant's Mask, why did you remove the freaking sword and shield you carried as a giant to hack twin molded pieces? It felt so good to kill a big fucking lizard thingy. Well, not lizard thingy, but, this worm thingy going everywhere and you cutting it and hacking its flesh to millions of beautiful pieces, splaying its blood all over the floor. But, I hate the boss changes. I can't stand the boss changes. I hope they fucking die. They're not the bosses, but those changes. I hope they fucking die. Moving on. When visiting the Swamp Tourist Center guide, he reminds me much of the bosses I spoke about earlier, about giving you a big red fucking signal above your head or above their heads and tails, that if you, after visiting him, he tells you to visit Korak. I can't pronounce her name. When Comb is not at the window. Why? I mean, I'm gonna see her anyway when I go down that fucking path as a Deku scrub, and I will find out that her sister is missing or already. Why do I need to remind her that she's missing? Why do I need that fucking reminder? Why? The Deku cards patrolling the mazes in the Deku Palace that no longer show their vision at nighttime. I kind of like that they show their vision, but I can, just like the banker I spoke about earlier, I can see ups and downs of why that was done. If you can't see the beams of light, and the range of the beams of light as well, it's not as easy to stay hidden, I guess. But having those little flashing lights was also neat because they look like nighttime security guards, and that same cuteness for the Deku scrubs that I used to have. I was now really sad to see it go. Honestly, I like the Deku cards having those fucking little lights. The second thing I really hate is that the seed vendor that's in that Deku Palace, you can just e- reach him so easily now. It's not even worth it. It doesn't even compare to the original, and I hate that they've made a lot of things easier while they've also changed a lot of other things. Yes, but they've just I can't live with that. Also, the Deku platforms, the ones that are up in the air, if you land on them as Link, they start moving. I love the fact when they were always moving. Because if you went with the Deku Flower and the platform moved all of a sudden, you fall off the platform and you miss it. Like, too bad, buddy. You have to do it all over again. And if Deku cards fucking catch you, they'll kick you out. Why can Are you saying the Deku Scrubs have somehow loosened the security so much to the point that they've improved it by removing lights, but for some reason disabling the main thing that makes it happen, which is its moving platforms? I I I I just don't get it. I Okay, let's move it on. Move it on. The Stone Tower Temple changes that no longer have a Triforce shape on the blocks when the temple is inverted. Hmm. Now, I'm not fine with that because it gave me that old vibe of, this was an old Hylian kind of temple or a sacred temple of the protectors of the gods of our planet that also were involved in Termina. But also, the main thing that bothers me here is not really that change, but the red emblem that inverts the temple would that hangs over the entrance. Um, why does it hang over the entrance? Why doesn't it hang over the block? The block you would have to remove and then shoot. It was hidden there for a fucking reason. It makes you think. It makes you use your noggin. And now that the thing has been removed, you don't have to, not removed but moved somewhere where you can easily see it and just shoot it with a little fucking light arrow. It's not as interesting. And for people who, again, who are nostalgic, but at the same time, people who realize that this was an excellent choice of putting it behind the block, why would you make it easier? Why would you make your game easier? I just don't get it. I mean, it's not an MMO. You have all the time in the fucking world. You can shut down the game whenever you want. But no. For some reason, we can't do that. For some reason, we're just gonna put it above the entrance, make it easier, just like the boss fucking signals above their heads. Okay, so now let's talk about some shop changes. The trading post, for instance, it sells now magic beams for 100 rupees instead of 50 arrows. Why? I mean, yeah, God. The first wallet you have is 99 rupees. So it's literally teasing you and saying you need the adult's wallet of 200 rupees if you want to buy the seed. Okay, I get it. It kind of motivates you to try to get that wallet and figure out how to get it quicker. But unlike the banker who gives you the hint on himself, why do you have to buy the magic beans in Clocktown? Buying the magic beans in Clocktown is fucking stupid. My personal belief. Why my personal belief? Because I always found it that in the old Majora's Mask, when you would head to the swamp, that's the place where you buy the seeds. Why do you have to buy the seeds from Clocktown? Because it's not from Clocktown, it's from Deku Scrubs, it's from the Deku community. And only when you have that Deku scrub move from the swamp when you give him the clock down deeds is that that's when you obtain the magic bean seller in Clocktown because you gave him the deeds. So the purpose of that Deku scrub going there now is you'll get cheaper magic beans instead of you get a new shop that sells magic beans. Okay, you're trying to feel me what I'm getting here. You're adding this new shop, but in Majora's Mask 3D, you're just getting a new shop for cheaper magic bean rupees. Okay. As for the Goron powder keg shop that sells powder kegs, they sell it for 20 rupees instead of 100 rupees in Majora's Mask 3D. So what if this big Goron guy all of a sudden said, "Hey kid, do you want a powder keg?" "Yes, I want a powder keg." "Here you go, my child. Only 20 rupees. 20 rupees for a powder keg? Oh boy, jeez, I'm so excited." Kapoof, he's dead. And I can see this backfiring heavily for the Goron community, but also making them look so fucking stupid in the eyes of a lot of people in the world that I really, 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 really I don't want to go further on it. Oh god. I'm sorry. I'm still thinking about it. Why would you do that, Gorons? Why? Are you trying to endanger little children for this new year? Okay, so the changes that involve certain items. The Kingdom Mask and Priority Mail, for example, you can obtain as soon as the final day starts. I really hated this because of A, nostalgia, and B, because I knew exactly what time I had to get in there. It was usually 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon, minimal 1 o'clock in the afternoon, where you entered the Curiosity Shop. Or was that 4 p.m.? I think it was 4 p.m. actually, my apologies. 4 p.m. where you would enter it's been such a long time since I played the original Majora's Mask. I have the official golden version in my current Nintendo 64. It was 4 p.m. I believe when you would enter the Curiosity Shop to obtain the Keaton's Mask and Priority Mail. You had a specific time you would have to go in there, which kind of made sense. Night was falling. The trading post guy, he was still there, which was kind of weird because then they hinted at you that, yeah, that's the thing. They're hinting at you that the trading post guy is the Curiosity Shop guy, and the trading post guy is gone during that day. I remember that particularly, and he's there, the Curiosity Shop man guy, to give you the Keaton's Mask, to tell you about Cafe, the story, and everything. And the priority mail is basically given you as soon as the final day starts. I had this fondness of I have to go to the fucking mailbox and mail it out before the mailman would come and collect. But at the same time, I realized that I would be too late. But now I could go to the mailbox, and when I want to deposit it, it says, no, you have to just give it to the postman, priority mail. And the post box would tell you that. But before I panicked, because I was like, how the fuck will I give the postman this letter? I mean, time has passed, the time has passed to the point that I can't give you this no more. But now it doesn't have that same effect on me. Now I'm like, yeah, okay, I got the mail. I'll just go drop it off the post box. Oh, I can't drop it off to a post box. I guess I'll go to the fucking post guy and give it to him. Why? Just why? Okay, just why? The Garo masks, instead of resembling the old Garo ninja, it resembles the Garo master. Why couldn't you just add a new mask resembling the Garo master and keep the old one that resembled the Garo ninja? And no offense, I like the old one that resembled the Garo ninja. I hate the new one. The one that resembles the Garo master, I think it's totally stupid looking. That's just my opinion. Okay? But that's just my opinion. The bottle found beneath the graveyard and the piece of heart received from Combs' target shooting have swapped places. A minor change, but the beneath the graveyard event is more important than Combs' target shooting event. And I am nitpicky when I say this. I believe that the bottle should be a higher reward and therefore should be found beneath the graveyard instead of being acquired from a fucking shooting range after you defeat Adol. Okay, it doesn't make sense. The Circle Leader's mask is renamed the Trope Leader's mask. Okay, I guess at least they didn't change the model on that one. A seventh model has been added. Seventh bottle was added. I really like this one though. It was obtained from a new side quest given by Gorman, who was the brother of the two Gorman brothers who you helped to defend against Crimea and Majora's Mask original. And in the 3D versions, basically you would basically obtain mystery milk, which you would have to save, and then you would have to go to a ride on your Epona, or just you couldn't turn to Gorma form, I believe. I think you could only use Epona, and you have to go to the clock town, and you would have to hand them this you would have to hand them the mystery milk before the time wears off. I believe this is a very, very welcoming edition. Very, very welcoming. And I can't say that this is bad at all. I like this edition. I like what they did there. And it was I wish they did this more to the game, instead of just destroying something old or changing something old or making it easier or stupid. This was the finest example that I like the most. That and the Clock Down Banker was one of the two finest points I will like in the Majora's Mask 3D remake. A little detail is the fire, ice, and light arrows are now their own items rather than being compressed into a small menu. I can't complain, but at the same time I will complain. It kind of felt cool when you were adding the magical effects to the arrows. But okay. I'll accept that, the change. But the only thing I don't like is the ice arrows. They only freeze sparkling patches of water, as well as certain sparkling blue enemies, with the exception of boss areas, where the water can be frozen wherever an ice arrow is shot. I like the fact that I could have frozen a lot of places in the water whenever I wanted, whenever the fuck I wanted, because, well, it was cool. It was just cool. As for the giant wallet being only obtained during any of the 3 days, no. I like the giant wallet only to be obtainable before the final day, because that guy came in there too late to find the base, and I'd be really fucking thankful if you gave me a property and I knew that I was saved days prior. I would fucking give you a giant wallet. But apparently the creators again have to make the game damn easier and say, oh, we'll just give it to you at the end of the 3 days. Here you go, bye. The Gibdos who asked for 10 bobs, 5 magic beans, and 10 Deku nuts now only ask for 1 each. What the fuck is the point of a bank anymore? The bank, I love the bank with this mission because you would have to buy a lot of stuff, stock up on a lot of stuff, like you were going to fucking face the mother of all bosses and gods. The Gibdo who asked for a blue potion, I like this part too, because you have to go to either Comb or somebody else to get the blue potion to exchange, but now you just come there with a simple red potion. And the Gibdo who asked for milk now also accepts half a bottle of milk, as well as Chateau Romani, apparently. Why? Just why? The Giant's mask appearing after the blue twin mold is defeated. I don't like that change, but at the same time, it has its ups and downs, just like the banker. But the only really thing I really hate, as I've expressed earlier with some things, is that you don't no longer wield a sword and a shield and hack the boss to pieces. So I still can't live with that change. The Mask of Truth can find hidden grottos. I don't like that. Why didn't you just apply that to the Lens of Truth? Why? Just it doesn't make sense. The Lens of Truth are lens. They are supposed to see. The Mask of Truth is not supposed to see, but Okay, now I'm going to talk about minor things. The Takuri in Termina Field, the bird that stole your items, no longer has an item on the, an icon on the minimap that represents its location or if it's flying to you. I never really looked at the minimap, so I really don't mind this change. So that's completely fine with me. Romani Ranch features an arc that probably presents their ranch's name instead of a copy from of the one arch of Kakariko Village from Ocarina of Time. I really think that's okay, and yes, that's wonderful. I don't mind it because even I could see that it was the same exact arch when I played both games. Um, Zora Cape has its proper name displayed on the screen upon entering the area, which I kind of never, again, bothered to really look at or care for that matter, but it's a welcoming change. The gold Skullcora that was behind a coffin in the Ocean Spider House was moved to a nearby wall. I hate this. I hate this. I hate this. He is supposed to be behind the fucking coffin because it was more difficult to see him. Again, you're making the game easier. Stop making the goddamn game easier. The Pirate's Fortress exterior has platforms containing hootshot targets along the rightmost wall. And it says literally in the changelog, allowing for easier access inside and outside upon receiving the hook shot. Again, you're making the game easier. And the Pirate's Fortress, prior to shooting the beehive, a small change has been applied where the front door of the throne room is now locked. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. You really don't want to be in there when the big boss is in there, when the big boss is not in there. You want to be in there as ununlockable. You kind of made the game harder because you can also access the tank. So yeah, okay, I can accept that. The only thing that I can't accept, however, is what they made easier again about the game is that when you enter the aquariums inside the Pirate's Fortress that contain the original shell blades, those shell monsters that would open their mouth and try and eat you and jump to you, they're no longer there. Their shell blades, they're just no longer there. So, please, for the love of fucking God, if you're gonna do another remake, please do not make it easier. The minor changes also that I dislike are when you view Skull Kid from the Astral Observatory, he no longer jumps away from the tower after taunting Link. I love the fact that he wiped his ass at me, scratched his ass at me, and he jumped away. Anyu giving Link the room key and Goron form makes sense, so I will approve of that, and also because it makes you visit the area later. So that's completely fine with me. Comb, when on the boat tour, now acknowledges killing the Afterock when the boat gets close to hitting it. Perfect. I actually don't mind that. I really do mind the Grey Fairy of Power and Wisdom that have switched places along with the rewards. I mean, I love the original rewards and I also love the original lore, and I don't believe in a snap of a finger that you can fix the original lore and location of a character just because you fucking want to. I hate that in recent remakes so fucking much. In any remake of any game. The Frozen Goron Elder that's now found near the first lake of the Twin Islands, he'll be encased on a snowball on the final day. Minor change. I don't like it, but it's okay. I don't mind it as much. Or do I? I do. Because I like the fact that you would have to open to the hot water springs, get it, to melt them down so you can proceed in the game. Again, you made the game easier. Stop making the goddamn game easier. The change that I also don't welcome is Captain Kita, who speaks to Link before the Battle of the Inca Graveyard. He also moves at a very slower speed. Keep him, please. Please make the game as it was. Do not make it easier. Dinolfos and Wizrobes now have their names spelled correctly, which is okay. And it was spelled Dinolfos and Wizrobe instead of one Z. Instead of two Z's on Wizrobe, it was one Z, and instead of Dinolfos, he was spelled Dinolfos without the L. Epona can no longer run over a Deku flower. I noticed that. She neighs frequently. Additionally, shooting arrows at her no longer causes her to neigh, which I think is stupid. I liked her name because it makes sense if you try to shoot a horse in the head. I think they really approved animal brutality now in Japan. Um, Talt, the fairy, no longer has strength. He always knows the enemy previously encountered in Ocarina of Time. Mm, I can approve this because she doesn't know him, and that's the only reason I can approve this. Cafe no longer has an hurt animation if Link uses explosive next to him. I think they made Cafe into a god. You know, if think about it, guys, he's immune to explosives. If I brought a powder keg to this guy, and if you went to the Goron shop and bought it for 20 rupees, oh yeah, we don't have to worry about Majora. We got Cafe now. We have the real villain to worry about. The dark man we have to kill. The new boss, the new villain of the next expansion. Cafe, my children. Cafe! Cafe! The dungeons redesigned inside of the moon. Perfect. I absolutely don't fucking mind. I think that's perfect. Stone Tower Temple changes, also where the chest contained the small key. Perfect. I hate that the changes on the sun and the sun block that had two eyes now have one eye, sorry. And I don't get it. I love the fact that they included this crack or Ocarina transformation icons seen in an early version of Majora's Mask. What else do I like? Okay, what else? Oh yeah, take picture grab box. It takes full color pictographs. Okay, I approve of that. I mean, their technology is somehow expanded, but okay, I guess I'll let it go. And where else are we? Well, yeah, they never fixed the bug glitches. Even I noticed, for example, Gorman going backwards in the wrong direction as he was walking to the mayor's official residence. But I will talk more about that later as an added bonus. The fact that Zora Link can play a Zora guitar underwater, I hate, even though I hate. It just doesn't make sense that he can play sound underneath the water. It doesn't make sense at all. And the second thing is that I like the fact that you would have to swim somewhere to play an instrument. Now you can just play it wherever you want. If you guys didn't know, 2 new dance animations were added to the Red Deads in Ancient Castle of Ikara. They could be found in the staircase in Room Basement 2. I didn't know about this. I mean, I was there in the remake, but I guess I really didn't pay attention. A new credits sequence for the 3DS version after the end of the original credits was added. I noticed that. That was pretty cool. I noticed new sound effects for the Adam pickups, many traditions, and Link's yells. I noticed his new textures, the new textures of the 3D fairies instead of the 2D fairies. The camera follows Link after going through a loading zone. Most cutscenes that are shortened, which is a welcoming addition. I fucking hated waiting through them. The cutscene played after playing the song with Soaring can now be skipped. Oh really? Because I just fast forward through them. I mean, I remember repeatedly I tapped on the A button and that was fine. I mean, it was over in a second, but also gave you a little break. So I don't really welcome that. I really like the fact that it took you a second to teleport you. The fact that the exit bases in the secret grottos were redesigned, I don't like it. I don't like it because I just know they made things easier again. That you can no longer go first person while swimming as a human is freaking really lame, but because it called for some cool screenshots, especially if you were playing it over your PC. But of course, Majora's Mask 3D you won't be playing over your PC unless you're one of those people that hacks and wants to hack and so on and so forth. And what else have I forgotten? Let's see here. Oh yeah, right. The fishing poles. Fishing poles are welcoming additions. I like the fishing poles, but what I hated is that most of the rewards in the game that are got from after completing certain fucking additional challenges, such as the Honey and Darlings game, they always give you a fishing hole pass. And I'm fucking tired of being given fishing hole passes to the point it pisses me off. I wish they kept the old additional rewards of 20 rupees, 50 rupees, or mixed it up a little, give you a fishing hole pass and then rupees, which would be fine, you know. What else? Oh yeah, the owl statues. I will get to that next. I absolutely 100% hate all the new saving stones, especially the one inside the moon that makes no goddamn sense for you to add, because it no longer takes that depravity, that scary feeling that you're alone and that you will die inside of this moon and there's no hopes for you to save the game and go back and fix everything that has just occurred. I really fucking hate that. I don't care if you're using a 3DS, if you're going to the final fucking day and if you're going to face Majora, and if you're going to fail, you have to rewind the whole thing. I like that. I like you having no hope to complete this final quest. I fucking hate it. I fucking hate it. I hate the new quill statues that were added. I hate these statues for allow saving. I love the fact that you cannot be warped to them like the Song of Soaring, but I don't want the quill statues in Termina. I don't want them inside dungeons. I don't want them inside the fucking moon. I don't want them inside the main temples. I do not want the quill statues. I fucking hate the quill statues. The owl statues, I hate you for changing them. I love you for changing their models, their appearance, that beautiful, beautiful spiritual color they have to them. But I hate the fact that I no longer have to hit him with the sword. That cool, neat wing effect plays where they shine and their wings spread, indicating you that you have activated them. I hate them. I hate them. I hate them so much. I hate them. I really do. Because the owl statues, when you would unlock them, when you would hit them, that, as I said, everything, the effect to it, it felt rewarding. But now you just walk up to them, boom, unlocked. It's not the same. It's just not the same. The Sheikah Stone and Visions, I do welcome them, but I will be honest with you, I really hoped that it wouldn't be the Sheikah Stones they'd use. I was hoping they'd make a return. But I was hoping they'd make a return in the form of Majora's head. That Majora's, there will be some secret dark forces of Majora that are like playing tricks on you, and that will help to guide you through the game. I also hate that the Song of Time slows the day by 50% instead of the regular 30%. So you're telling me that everybody, again, you made the game essentially fucking easier. Stop making the fucking game easier. Stop making the game easier. It pisses me off when you make the game easier. It just does. The Song of Double Time now lets Link jump to a specific hour of the current day. I don't know what to say about that. Again, you're making the fucking thing easier. I can tell you many fucking reasons why, but okay. You know, if you feel good about yourself, I will let that pass, I guess. What else is there to say? Goron Link's attacks are executed faster. Curling is now down by simply pressing the A button once. His turn rate while rolling has been reduced. Zora Link now swims a lot slower, and you have to basically turn on the electricity in order to, aka press the B button, in order to, you know, move faster, which is really stupid. I don't like that. I like the fact that you could always swing fast. That's the point of a fucking Zora. I just do. I don't like it. The Deku Link, he needs to build up speed in order to start running. Okay. The tip of his hat transforming into a root. I like that when he does his spit attack, so I won't complain. This Bubble Blast, I really can't complain. I don't know what other things there were. The other things is the user interface, but I don't really care about the user interface, honestly. But what I do really care about are all these changes I've currently listed to you. And maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm too nostalgic. But I hate the fact that they didn't fix the original bugs and glitches. That the fact that they made the game a lot easier. I love the fact that they've given me new things to look at. But I hate the fact that they put no effort in making the game more interesting, improving on it. Instead, they made it all easier for new and old players alike, and I think they aimed more for the new crowd than they did for the fans of the franchise, for the series. That's my opinion anyway. But then again, the latest Legend of Zelda series, I'm not a fan of them either. And maybe it's just me, maybe it's not good that I say this, but I don't like the recent changes. And I like the fact that Operation Moonfall tried everything in order to, have the changes applied and to get the Majora's Mask 3D going. Do I appreciate the payoff? No. Do I welcome the payoff? No. And I give an approval of 2 out of 5. Although it has sold 2.3 million copies worldwide, I give it 2 out of 5. I do not care about the new textures. I care about the gameplay. And I feel like when I played the Majora's Mask 3D, I've replayed Majora's Mask all over again. And it hasn't given me the same theme. The color, the sound, even the sounds on the final day of the moon is different. It just doesn't sound the same. The sounds, they've destroyed the sounds. They destroyed the sounds. And it no longer gives me the end of the world vibe, like my Majora's Moon video. If you watch my Majora's Moon with bells and sounds video that's recorded from the official Majora's Mask old game, the nostalgic one compared to the new one, you will completely see what I'm saying by this. And if you disagree with me on this, that's fine. Everybody has their opinions, everybody has the games they like, but I give Majora's Mask 3D a 2 out of 5 because they made the game easier and they really didn't fix much. They made instead a lot of things easier, and they've changed some old things that just doesn't make sense for being changed in the first place. So please give me your like your official thoughts, what you think, things that you think that have changed, that you don't like that have changed. I played the 3D, but there's a lot to name, and there are a lot of things I certainly forgot. And I had to read Zelda wiki and Zeldapedia sites just to make sure I got everything nailed down and pinpointed it down to the end. Oh, and P.S. How could I forget about poor Shiro? He was a soldier located in Ikana Canyon. And you got the stone mask from him if you would bring him a red potion, blue potion. And I don't like the fact that they removed him from Ikana Canyon and that they put him at the Pirate's Fortress. I believe it would be better if you went to Ikana Canyon off-road. Again, the game is harder to meet him, present him with the potion, return back and obtain your stone mask. I really don't like the remake, but I really like what they've done to the environment in it, but I don't like the difficulty of the game that they just butchered with it. That's all. Please subscribe, hit that subscribe button or comment and link below, and I knew I forgot something.